the unofficial, official preview of things to come for Shadows of Brimstone. And first thing we're looking at here is the Derelict Ship. And all of these are prototype versions of the tiles, so if they don't slightly fit together, it's because I didn't cut them quite well enough with the X-Acto knife to make the puzzle cuts work. But some of the cool features of the Derelict Ship you can see are that it's got a lot of different shapes of rooms that you don't find in other places, like the round rooms for the hydroponics garden or the darkstone drive room. One of the things that's kind of fun is with Shadows of Brimstone, each of the different other worlds uses darkstone in a different way, and that sort of is very influential on the look and the feel and the design of that world and the stuff that you find there. So, you know, for instance, in the Derelict Ship, they have a darkstone warp drive that they use to travel through interstellar space, and because of that, it allows you know, portals to open up on the ship and creatures to come in. And of course, it's created this horrible disaster where the entire crew is missing, and when you find your way onto the ship, you're kind of going through these eerie, creepy, abandoned halls, which only get worse when you discover that they're not in fact abandoned, but instead overrun with all sorts of terror. So some of those terrors you can see here are the Necronauts, which are basically, you can see depicted here. They're the crew of the ill-fated Vostros, which is the name of the Derelict Ship. And these are 3D prints, so they're not the final production versions, but it gets a pretty good idea across of what the Necronauts are going to look like. And you can see here the Necronauts are pretty evil. They basically, one of the things that's really evil about them is that they have terror, which means that if you're on the same map tile with them, you will take a terror hit for every Necronaut that's currently alive. So one of the themes in the Derelict Ship is a lot of sanity damage, a lot of horror, and, you know, dark corners of this ship to explore and things to sort of freak you out. So to that end, another feature that's kind of fun is occasionally you'll find these broken gates in the ship, and the broken gates basically act as spawning pits for different monsters, and so Necronauts might come crawling up out of the broken gate, or broken grate, or dark stranglers, or, you know, space terrors, all sorts of different monsters that you might run into, and you basically have to get close to a broken grate and use a skill test or explosive to try and seal it up so that no more monsters can come through. So that's one kind of fun aspect to it. There's a lot of sci-fi kind of themes and tropes. You can see here on the starting tile, it actually is a transporter pad, and so you might transport aboard the ship. But you've got things like, you know, cryostasis chambers, or an exosuit bay, the medical bay, which clearly is seen better days, or the bridge of the ship where you can go up and check out the various consoles. Another thing that's kind of fun is sometimes you'll run into sealed bulkheads. So it basically seals a door, and you can try to make you know, strength tests to try to open that bulkhead and get to the other side. When you do, you never know what you're going to find there. Maybe somebody sealed it to keep something in. Maybe somebody sealed it to you know, keep something out. You don't know. But it's kind of fun just adding some new mechanics like that. Another thing that crops up in the Derelict Ship are auto turrets, which are basically defenses. And again, these are just kind of rough 3D prints. But you actually have, as part of the set, you have these auto turrets. There should be a third one, but I don't see it. And so they'll pop up, and they're kind of like the Targa pylons, where they're rapid-fire turrets that are the defenses of the ship, trying to, you know, ward off boarding parties or crazy monsters that they don't want to be on. Another thing that's kind of fun in the Derelict Ship is you can actually have, you can find void grenades, which will open up a void vortex. And when one of these opens up, it starts sucking everything on the map tile towards it. And monsters that get sucked in will actually just be pulled into the void. Heroes that get sucked in will have to try to crawl their way out before they get sucked into the void and KO'd. And so it's this sort of chaotic storm that's just like a little mini black hole pulling things in. Let's see. Here's a few other Derelict Ship things like the World card, and we'll get a little bit more into the Derelict Ship in a little bit. when we do a Derelict Ship game. We're going to do one a little bit later on. But I'll just throw a couple of these out here as little artifacts that you can find. If anybody wants to see any of this, so there's a void grenade. That one's particularly cool. Who wouldn't want some nice gravity boots or a mission log? The vac suit is pretty fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to climb it? You know, have their cowboy jump into a space suit. Yeah, so one of the really fun cards is an energy blaster you can find, where you can actually change the setting on the blaster. So it either gets one shot that's plus extra damage, or two shots that give just a little bonus to damage, or three shots that don't give any bonus to damage. So you can kind of adjust it based on what you're fighting, of how many shots you want to shoot each time you attack with it. So the Derelict Ship is an OtherWorld expansion, similar in size and scale to the Caverns of Cinder, where you get the Necronauts and the auto turrets, and then all the map tiles and cards and everything you need. One other enemy that's themed, it's a separate enemy set, but it's themed for the Derelict Ship, is the beacon drones. And these guys are basically the navigators on the ship, and they use kind of biological elements inside their robot bodies. But because they have basically been working with this darkstone warp drive, they've kind of, like, all the biological elements have started mutating and being corrupted inside their robot bodies, and so they're actually kind of crazy. They're like crazy robots, and when they attack you, they've got sort of a psychic connection to anything nearby, and so they'll send flashes of horrible things into your mind and sort of terrify you as they're attacking you. The other thing is they're all connected to the ship itself, so if you ever destroy one of these beacon drones, it actually shakes the entire ship. So anybody on the entire Derelict Ship takes hits basically from rubble falling and explosions happening. So even if these guys somehow find their way into the mines and you blow one up, you can just know that somewhere in interstellar space, the ship is shaking.
That's cool.
And the Derelict Ship is going to have all new mine on the back. This particular prototype set doesn't have the mines on the back, but yeah, it's a full new set of mine tiles on the backside of the Derelict Ship. All right, so why don't we go on to